You can do whatever you want. I want you to do.
I want to do the haircut.
If you want to do it how you normally do it, go for it. Whatever you think would be like, yeah, that's the best haircut.
I'm about to buzz your ass.
What is up, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of Choppin' It Up. I'm your host, Carson. We're about to head right next door to Lonestar Barber Parlor to let the very talented Christina Chappa work her magic on my hair. But it's not just about the haircut. We're here to tell the stories about these talented individuals. So sit back, relax, enjoy the trim and some great conversation. And don't forget, check out San Angelo local list on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Let's head next door. Do whatever you can. You can do whatever you want.
I'm just kidding.
I'm dead serious. You can do whatever you want.
I do love giving mohawks.
If that's what you feel like will look the best, I'll endorse it. I didn't think we were gonna go there, but if that's what we're doing.
No, but I've been wanting to give Andy a buzz. So every time, what's his name, Travis Kelce came on, I'm like, let me give you the Travis Kelce. And like all these barbers on Instagram are now doing like videos about him and stuff like that.
About Travis Kelce?
Yeah.
Have you seen, I saw like Shannon Sharp did an interview with Chad Ochocinco, and they were talking about how like people are going to the barbershop and like basically white dudes. And instead of saying like, can I get a fade? They're in there like, can I get the Travis Kelce?
And really, that's all it is a bob fade.
Yeah, he's like, they're all just laughing. They're like, I never heard, and nobody ever called a fade to Travis Kelce. I'm pretty sure I've been doing this since the 80s.
That's funny. For a while, like everybody wanted like the mustache, just a standalone mustache, like.
Yeah, I'd need a little bit of a stronger chin to pull off just a mustache, or maybe to lose some weight.
I mean, I think anybody could do it.
I'd be pushing those limits. It'll be like when I tried to grow out my beard. Everybody was questioning it for about 6 months.
Yeah, until now it's like a normal.
Yeah, like a normal.
I mean, it's like it's normal. Like you always had a beard.
It's pretty funny. My dad has like never been able to grow facial hair his whole life either. Mm-hmm. And, or I guess maybe he could. He never grew it out. He was always like very clean shaven. But he's like, 65 or so, and he recently started growing a beard, and nobody's ever seen him with a beard before.
Really?
Yeah, and I was just making a joke to my fiance the other night. I was just like, yeah, 65 years, but he's finally able to grow one. That's dedication right there.
He's like, my son can do it, I could do it.
Yeah, I like to think I was his inspiration.
That, or maybe he's just tired of shaving for 65 years.
I think that's probably another big part of it. So tell me a little bit about how you started cutting hair. First off, how long have you been cutting hair?
Since
the 80s?
Since 2010. I went to school in 2010, so.
You went to school in 2010?
Yeah, I started school in 2010.
So 14 years now?
Yep.
And have you been in San Angelo cutting hair that whole time?
Yes.
And then you've worked at a couple of different places before you came here. I
worked here and I worked at Sport Clips.
Sport Clips?
Mm-hmm, for what felt like a lifetime. It wasn't all bad. It was good, Yeah. Like I learned a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, a little bit more control of like your schedule and workflow at this place.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, whenever we started here, it was all about making our own schedule, of course. But then I realized making my own schedule meant I had to work a whole lot more than what I ever planned.
It's funny, like the give and take once you pretty much go into business for yourself, huh?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like you want, to be able to just do it yourself, not answer to anybody, but then it's like, well, you got to make money, you got to be here forever. But I'm glad, I'm doing it because, I don't know, in the beginning I didn't think I wanted to cut hair. After, my dad, he wanted me to cut hair all through high school. He was like, you need to go to school, and I was like, I don't think it's what I want to do.
And your dad was a barber himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was a barber. So I grew up in a barbershop.
You grew up in a barbershop?
Mm-hmm.
And that was his barbershop here in San Angelo?
Yes. He had one off of Chadburn and 24.
Oh, okay.
He started cutting hair at the base when he first started. My uncle was a barber. My uncle still has a barbershop on Paint Rock.
Oh, okay. What's his barbershop called?
Sammy's Barbershop.
Okay. So like you're literally like San Angelo barber, born and bred, family legacy, like born into the game almost.
Almost, yeah. You can say that. I have a few cousins that are cutting hair now too, and it's kind of like I feel like I was almost meant to do it, because even though I didn't want to do it, I'm so glad I chose to.
Yeah.
Because I really found passion in it when I was in school. And
no, I mean, like, I can tell, like, obviously I've gotten my hair cut by a bunch of people in the past, but, like, I can tell you care. And, like, you're actually, like, I don't feel like you're trying to, like, rush me out of the chair or anything like that. Like, you're trying to do the best job. And that's why I keep coming back. And anybody that asks me, like, hey, where should I go? Where should I go? I always say Christina at Lonestar, just because, like,
that.
I've never had a bad experience. Like, you wouldn't believe how many times I've been out and about in San Angelo and literally just ran into somebody and they'll just be like, oh yeah, I went to Christina. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's where I go too. That's where I go too. Like, I always, like, literally just the other day, I ran into Lou of like City Limits and Angelo Ale House.
Oh yeah.
And like, he could obviously had a fresh cut. And I was like, you saw Christina? He's like, you know I did.
Oh, Lou, yeah, he's in here every Thursday.
Yeah. But it's like at this point, your reputation precedes you.
Well, you know, that makes me happy. It's just, you know, something that I knew. I was like, once I got started, I didn't really have a fallback, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I gotta make it work.
Yeah. No, I feel like those, like most success stories I hear, that's like the one like connecting factor is there was no fallback. I had to make it work.
Exactly.
Like there wasn't a choice.
It was like, it's this or I need to find myself a rich husband. No, but I'm glad I do what I do.
Yeah.
And especially working here, like, it's just so much better.
Yeah.
Even though I work a lot, I love it.
So, like, I know specifically, like, Lonestar's right here on College Hills, like, right across from Next Level. So, y'all have been dealing with the College Hills construction. Mm. How has that affected business?
You know, for me, I feel like it's not as bad.
Yeah.
Just because I do have a pretty good set clientele.
Yeah.
But coming to our walk-ins, it changed it up.
Yeah.
Like it was so busy before the construction. Mm-hmm. We'd always have a line.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess this, like, y'all have dealt with a couple crises since you've been here. I mean, literally, like, the COVID pandemic. I'm pretty sure y'all were here, like, when the freeze happened.
Oh, yeah.
Snowmageddon going on. So
that was all such a wild time.
Yeah, I mean, as I'm saying all this stuff out loud, I'm like, man, we've had a wild last couple of years in San Angelo.
It's still kind of crazy to think all that, was happening. Especially, like, during COVID, whenever at first I was like, oh, okay, maybe it'll be nice to have a couple days off, And then it was like, okay, we're going to take the week off. And then it was 2 weeks, and then it was months. And it was kind of like, it was scary.
Yeah.
To think, like,
how long could this go on?
Exactly. I was like, oh, am I not going to cut hair anymore? Or, like, did I pick the wrong profession because of something like this? And
isn't it funny how, or not funny, but, like, something like that happens, like, I always told myself, like, oh, if shit ever went to shit, I could always bartend or go get a job waiting tables and, like, I'd be able to figure it out. Mm-hmm. And then, like, COVID happened and I was like, oh shit, that's not even an option anymore. Like, and that was my last resort type plan. Like
if you have to.
Yeah, if I have to, like, and not like there's anything wrong with that. I love my time bartending and waiting tables. I just, like, that was always in the back of my head. Like, if my life fell apart, that's what I'd do for money.
Yeah, because you would be able to go back to doing that.
But then when that was, like, off the table, and then, like, when y'all have to close up shop and you really have to, like, go through that thought process of what if I had to do something else for money? Like, what would I do? That makes it real scary.
Especially when something like that is no longer an option.
Yeah. But so, like, when did Lonestar open up prior to COVID?
May of 2015.
May of 2015? Okay. So
So
y'all...
we're going on almost 6 years.
6 years? Wow.
And
Or
it started
May
with
2015? That'd be almost 9 years, huh?
No.
It's 2024.
Wait, what does my shirt say? 2018?
Oh, 2018. So yeah, you're right.
Does it
6
say
years. 6
2018?
years. Yeah, it does. Okay.
I don't know why I said 2015.
Like math ain't math in there.
See, that's why I cut hair. Not
I was about to get my phone calculator out.
That's funny. Yeah, we're going on 6 years though.
6 years. So y'all were able to get like established as far as like pre-COVID times.
Oh yeah, it took about, I would say like a year and a half maybe before like business was really booming.
Yeah.
You know, there was times where we were kind of scared because it was only 3 of us, and then we hired another girl, so it was 4, but it was only these 4 stations.
And that's one thing I forgot. Like I didn't even realize how much this like individual business has grown. I remember coming in here when there was just 3 stations, and I think right now I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So do y'all ever have 8 girls in here cutting hair at one time?
Yeah, usually towards the weekends, it's always all of us at the same time. But, you know, being as that we work for ourselves and make our own schedule, so we can come in when we want to.
Yeah. And, like, is there always, like, one person who's on walk-ins, or how does that work? Like, if somebody was to, like, let's just say somebody didn't have, like, forgot to make an appointment and wanted to come get a haircut, how would they go about that?
Usually the best way to do it is to go online to our website to make an appointment, because our walk-in, since the College Hill stuff, like our walk-in traffic has slowed down, so not everybody wants to stay for walk-in.
Gotcha. So if you do walk in, like, you may have to wait a little while.
You may have to wait a little while or call up here to see, you know, who's on walk-ins, what time they'll be on walk-ins from. And it usually will also say on our website.
Gotcha. So appointment is what y'all would prefer.
Appointments.
But if somebody does just walk in, y'all will do your best to try to get them in as fast as you can. Gotcha. Now, and like the website's super user friendly too. Like every single time I make an appointment, like I just go click your name. I log into Lonestar Barber Parlor, click your name. I already have my info saved in there from the last time, and then I'm just like, oh yeah, book again.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty easy. Sometimes we get, you know, those phone calls that are like, oh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's the easiest way to get in, bud. And I mean, if you can use Facebook or Instagram, like you can definitely use our website. It's step by step.
No, I feel that. And like, so obviously y'all cut hair, y'all shave beards, y'all are a barber parlor. What other services do y'all do in here?
We offer waxes, nose waxes, ear waxes.
You have guys coming in here to get waxed?
Yes, all the time.
For real? Or are you messing with me?
No.
I know you were trying to talk me into getting a nose wax earlier.
It really is a thing.
I just don't know. That sounds scary.
You know, at first it is kind of scary, but you get used to it. And then it's kind of one of those things that you're like, oh, don't forget, I need to get my nose waxed. It's like one of those things that you end up reminding me about.
Gotcha. Once somebody does it, they're like, oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's funny. I like would never come get a haircut and think to be like, oh yeah, go ahead and snag my nose here at the end.
You know, we all had to do it to each other before we started offering it.
Oh,
so
really?
It was kind of like one of those things that we're like, I want to know how it feels so I can tell you like, hey, it's not so bad, or,
gotcha.
You know, it's the worst pain on earth.
Kind of like when you're in the police academy, like you got to get maced if you're going to mace somebody else.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much it. Like you want to know what it feels like, or you have to know.
Yeah. And there's no options to numb my nose first, right?
Not that I know of yet, but I guess I could look into that. Because it's like I don't know, it's like a 2-second pain. It does hurt, but I feel like it hurts to pull one at a time.
Yeah.
Than, you know, all your hairs on one time.
Yeah, because I mean, I've plucked a nose hair and
it stings. Yeah, it stings and then it's over really fast.
So like, if there was one thing that if you were able to like have a one-on-one conversation with all of your customers at one time, like what would you want them to know about you as a hairstylist? And like, you don't need to answer right off the bat, like if you want to think about it for a second, but like, what do you think is something that like you would either want to share with your customers or something that you feel like sets you apart from other barbers and hairstylists in the city? Or would you classify yourself as a hairstylist, or would you say strictly a barber?
A barber.
A barber, okay.
Mostly because, I went to cosmetology school, but I always wanted to be able to use the razor. So I went back to barber school. I have both licenses.
Oh, wow. And your average barber probably wouldn't have both of those, right?
This really depends. It's kind of sad because the only thing we offer here in San Angelo is cosmetology school. So I had to go out of town and travel back and forth to be able to go to barber school.
Oh, wow.
So it's more convenient for sure to get your cosmetology license. And most people don't care, but for some reason, whenever I was, starting out, it was one thing that I was like, no, I want my barber's license.
Yeah.
It was something that I felt I needed. Not just to prove to other people, but to myself. That I could do it. That's what I wanted to do. And I wanted to be able to use a razor. Lots of barbers or stylists don't, they choose not to use a razor, and that's fine.
Gotcha.
But I had a lot of people who asked for it.
No, I mean, that's like one part of cutting hair that like I never even think about is like how much work goes into it before you're even qualified. Like, my generic view of everything is just like, oh yeah, the homies cut hair in high school, and then like that dude ended up becoming a barber. Like, you don't really think of like all the things they had to do to get done. So,
and that's kind of like how a lot of people see it as,
Yeah. So like, what would you tell somebody like, say I'm a high school student at Central or something like that, and I'm thinking that I may want to become a barber, or let's just say be in the cosmetology field. What suggestion would you have for them as far as like maybe how they could get a taste of that, or like what they should start looking into now?
Well, I think they still offer it in high school.
Oh, really?
So if they do it in high school because it's free.
Yeah, that's good advice. Especially nowadays.
My dad was so mad that I didn't apply for the cosmetology program in high school.
Oh, wow.
Like, I think my junior year, he was calling up to the school, like, what can I do to get her in? And I'm like, I didn't apply. It's not anybody's fault.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Central.
You went to Central?
Yeah.
So they've had a cosmetology school at Central for a while now.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's located at Howard, but it is through the high school.
And what about somebody who may be like a little later along in life? Like, let's just say this person's out of high school, so they don't have those resources. They're in their early 20s, and they want to start exploring what it would be to become a barber or a hairstylist. What path would that be like?
All you would have to do is call one of these schools. I mean, they'll give you all the information, and they offer financial aid.
Oh, really?
Like they didn't used to, now they do.
Yeah.
It's so much easier. And I mean, even somebody older can still go to school. Whenever I was in barber school, there was lots of people that were a lot older than me.
Yeah, and there's pretty much no age limit to get started.
Yeah, especially, I mean, some people who, like, say some man already retired and he was like, oh, I was already interested in, being at the barbershop all the time. Yeah. Why not go get certified,
For real.
It might take a little longer to keep up with these haircuts that are coming out, but...
Yeah, my mom was she was a hairstylist and had her own salon my whole time growing up. So like, I know you were saying you grew up in the barbershop. I pretty much grew up in the hair salon, and like seeing all that went into it as far as like my mom, I know that I wouldn't trade that experience. Just kind of like the different like the kid's perspective to the parent. Like I always had so much fun going to work with my mom and like running around with her, and like, I don't know. It was just a super positive experience growing up as the child of somebody who was in that field as well. And I don't think that like most people get to see that perspective, but that's something that you and I kind of have in common.
I really wish I would have not taken, that time for granted, because there was a lot of times where I was like, opposite. I was kind of tired of being at the barbershop. Like, yeah. It was all we knew, like, oh, I want to go here with my friends, or I want to go do this. And he wanted me to be there, and I'm like, for what? But he always wanted me to pay attention and watch what he was doing. And at the time, I'm like, I'm not going to do this when I get older. Yeah. And here I am, wishing like I could have learned earlier on. Maybe I'd be a lot further in my career, but
yeah.
You live and you learn.
Yeah, really.
I did enjoy, going to the barbershop, seeing the people, seeing my dad stay busy and stuff like that. Right next door to one of his barbershops. In the beginning, there was a salon too, and we'd go next door and I'd chill in the salon. I remember everything being pink.
Everything's pink.
Like it was like old, like 90s, early 90s, pink and like green.
I remember my mom, she shared a salon with her best friend. And her best friend was man, I'm probably about to butcher this name. The person who does nails.
A nail tech?
A nail tech, yeah. And then, so she would do nails, or my mom would do hair and her best friend would do nails. But like, they always seemed like they were just having the best time when I was in there. Like, just the clients coming in, like high energy. It was almost like, yes, she was cutting hair and stuff like that, but it was almost like she was entertaining, like putting on a show.
Oh yeah, you'll see a lot of that in here. I mean, I feel like a lot of the clients, they come for that, the interaction with the other stylists and barbers. And
I mean, part of why I come is just because I'm wondering what Tasha's gonna yell at me from across the room.
Because she stays yelling. Oh yeah, Simon.
Yeah, I enjoy seeing what y'all are gonna debate out when I come in.
Because it's always something, you know. We're very opinionated and we can go back and forth, but it's like all of us. Oh, yeah. Okay, calm down. And
but like, not. Basically what I'm getting at is it's always like fun. It's always fun coming in here. Like there's always something going on.
Oh, for sure. And like that's one thing that I am glad we took away from like sport clothes, you know?
Yeah.
I've been working with most of these girls for 10 years plus. Like, yeah. I'd be very sad to see what happens when we're not together.
I think all that is like more than enough. I think that was better than what I was even hoping for us to get. Is there anything specific like you want to talk about before we pop these mics off?
I don't know. I guess whenever you ask me about what I would tell my clients, just how much I appreciate them.
Yeah.
You know, because it's because of y'all that I'm even able to do this every single day.
Yeah. And
make a living. Because there's lots of guys out there that are like, oh, you just cut hair. It's like a side hustle. And I'm like, no, this is my job.
Yeah, yeah.
This is how I make a living.
No, I think that's really cool.
But, yeah.
Hell yeah. Hey guys, just wanted to say thank you to everybody who stuck around and watched the entire video. If you guys want more content like this, make sure you subscribe down below and also turn on your notifications for our channel. If you're in San Angelo or you know a barber in the area who might be interested in being in our next episode of Choppin' It Up, make sure that you tag them in the comments below or send them a link to this video. We're gonna post this on the San Angelo Local List Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Also, don't forget to remind them that they get to pick the cut, baby. So let's have some fun with this and showcase some skills. Thank you guys for watching.